Okay, everyone, thank you for showing up for this final speech. First things first, if you could, silence your phones. And I have a note for my teacher that I have to add to the speech. Um, so this is my Lesson 7 speech on AI. I'm using a slideshow that I also created from Lesson 10. The improvements from the notes I need to do is improve my introduction with my credibility and previews, and work on transitions. With that, shall we? So everyone, thank you for coming. Welcome. I just had a quick question for you all. Has anyone today used Apple Maps, Google Maps, Google Search, Copilot, Alexa, or Siri today? You did?
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. You're using artificial intelligence. My name is Shane Siddiq. I'm a student at Rio Salado College and Phoenix College. I've got a 2-year programming degree where I've used some artificial intelligence, and I've also worked in the information technology field. So that lends some credibility to this. Also, for this speech, we'll be talking about the modern uses of AI. I'll be pulling some data and stats from Stanford University, the International Data Center Authority, and the National Science Foundation. For the first part of the speech, we're going to talk about AI chatbots. The second part of the speech will involve AI that's used in healthcare. And then at the end, we'll be talking about autonomous vehicles and autonomous agents. All pretty interesting stuff. But let's start with something we already kind of know about, chatbots. So, anybody here know about ChatGPT? Do we use it? Have you used it at all? Yeah. Something interesting you might not know, as is according to Time magazine, but in 2023, ChatGPT became the fastest growing consumer app in history with 100 million users in 2 months. Pretty incredible, right? So chatbots, they're popular. Everybody knows about it. And they've expanded a lot. So there's a lot of fields and industries now that they're used for. And then this chart just kind of tries to map some of these fields out for you. This is just a sample, of course. But Google's Gemini is actually used in psychology. Claude, which is a famous coding bot, is used in programming. Grammarly AI. You guys, Grammarly's pretty old school, but I use Grammarly AI. It's actually free if you go to Phoenix College, and it's excellent for document writing, helping you with your grammar and everything. Customer service when you call. I don't even know. We just got a pizza earlier. It's an AI chatbot now that I don't even talk to humans anymore when I call places. That's often ChatGPT 5.4 mini. And in education, you'll see ChatGPT 4.0 used a lot. And there's also marketing research. There's a chatbot called BERT. I haven't seen that one around, but these are just some examples for you. Now, these are chatbots that use machine learning algorithms to talk to you, or use what do they call it? LLM, so large language models, to have complex conversations with you. But there's also machine learning is used for computer vision and facial recognition. So I also wanted to share just some uses of that as well. So one of the oldest that I remember, image tagging, Facebook. You guys remember when that came out? That was quite a while ago. That was some of the first facial recognition to kind of come on the scene. License plate and vehicle classification, pretty controversial about the flock cameras. And they're reading more. One of the reasons they're controversial is because they read more than a license plate. Cars now emit Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, and the flock will pick that up. And so, that becomes a question of, well, did you get a warrant to get my information? Fourth Amendment, right to privacy. I don't want to go into that though. But just to give you an idea how that's used. Face unlock on your iPhone. Facial recognition use, pretty common one. Object tracking and image classification. This is YOLO. So this is actually in warehouses. This is a pretty common one. I think Amazon warehouses where you just got millions of objects in all kinds of places. This is an AI that actually works with the box to find where things are organized and placed, and also how to correctly pull them off the shelves, right? Theft detection. There's a program called Vision AI that's used. And then the last one I thought was really interesting, fire and smoke detection, YOLO. So YOLO's fire and smoke detection computer vision, call it bot, but app, can find, it uses infrared, so it can see fires much quicker than humans can, and it's actually helped with fire suppression. So pretty cool stuff. But let's move a little bit beyond just simply AI that talks to you, right, or that you have to like prompt to do something. How about AI that just does stuff for you? And we need to look no further than in healthcare. The number of devices being used in healthcare has absolutely just skyrocketed in the last 10 years. A Stanford University study has shown that in 2015 there was like six devices marketed through and authorized through the FDA for use for healthcare. And now, not now, but in 2023, that number came up to over 800, which is just kind of blows my mind. But let's get an idea of like what is that actually doing? So here's some examples that I was able to find. Spotting cancer in patients. So that goes back to the computer vision. Diagnosing rare disorders. Now this is where you come in. You got all kinds of problems going on. The doctor's really struggling to find that out, and these AI systems can just hunt through these databases of medical journals and stuff, and just really try to pinpoint how all these symptoms can be related to a certain particular disease. Aiding in surgical procedures. Now I have a slide later on that actually has mechanical robotic arms that are all AI powered essentially. The doctor kind of runs them, and it's just kind of fascinating. It's very sci-fi futuristic still to me. Accelerating drug discovery. Now that's a great one. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but all kinds of stuff has just been found by AI. They're finding all kinds of ways to make cheaper medicine that's more effective and treats diseases that we haven't been able to find medicines for. So plus there for AI, I'll give them that. And then the last one is just automating administrative tasks. This is things like medical coding, right? They're getting really, the insurance industry is really complicated in the United States because there's so many healthcare industries. The medical billing by itself is a really complex process, and AI is pretty good at aiding with that. So we got an idea of like AI, how can we say, working for you, helping you out to find out things. Now, and this is just healthcare, but I want to transition to the transportation industry where AI has made these huge strides. And for my example, I got to use Waymo. Has anyone driven in a Waymo? I have not. You have? Pretty cool? Yeah? I'm yet to do that. So it's according to Stanford University, again, Waymo provides roughly 150,000 rides per week, which is way more than I thought. I did work downtown for FedEx at the airport, and there's a hub there, and so I have seen the number of vehicles explode. They actually got a permit to just operate right out of the airport, and so they now have an airport hub, and it's incredible how busy they are. Anyways, these cameras are these taxis are very advanced. They're equipped with 29 cameras, including 6 radars and 5 LiDAR cameras, assisting it in mapping and things like that. I want to add one thing I didn't put on here was that these are really cool in that they can mid-trip, you can add stops. It also will add, like, if there's some sort of obstacle on the road, let's say, but it hasn't been alerted of it, it can find it and report it. The problem is sometimes it can't get around it. So they're working on it. How much data these create? Over a terabyte of data an hour, which to me is just mind-boggling. It's just, you do a 2-hour ride on one of these, you create 2 terabytes of data. And right now, Waymos can operate in over 50 countries. They've adjusted their laws to allow for autonomous vehicles, and that's going to only grow that number. That's just what we have as of right now. So let's work on the uses of autonomous agents. Now, AI agent, it's different than a chatbot. A chatbot, you talk to it, it gives you an answer. Maybe it spits out a chart or a graph. An agent is going to do work on your behalf. So we're talking about sending emails or opening up programs for you. This is, I want to call it kind of a wonky world right now because it's very difficult from a cybersecurity perspective to not hack the agent. But it shows a lot of promise of where things can go for you. To me, this is like where Star Wars starts to become reality, right? And these are a couple of popular autonomous agents that I just picked off. This is from usefuLAI.com, but Claude Cowork, OpenClaw, which is actually free. It's banned in China though because it's not even very safe to use at this point. Perplexity, Manus, and then you got Hermes Agent. Just some examples of these AI agents that act on your behalf. They open and close programs. They can do all kinds of things that you need to. You can use them like a voice assistant and command them. So you can do it for your phone. It's going to do stuff at your home computer. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Like I love the idea of having like an aid that just is there for you anytime you need it. Now I have a couple examples also I wanted to throw in there, just AI agents that work in machinery. This is a Ukrainian interceptor drone. So these things, what's interesting about them is they're jam-proof. And once the AI agent has locked into a target, unless you can somehow stop it by shooting it down, it's going to hit its target. It's kind of scary. I know we didn't want to have this happen in warfare, but it's there. It's already on the battlefield and it's being used at a pretty high precision scale. This, you guys, is just an image of one of these type of surgical machines that surgeons use. It's pretty amazing. They actually, the surgeon, it's like playing a video game or something. It's just doing the stuff for the surgeon. So wow, a lot of stuff, right? So let's just recap real quick. We learned about modern uses of AI. We talked about chatbots, AI in healthcare, and then last we talked about autonomous agents in transportation and in computers. So where are we going with AI? This is an AI generated photo. I just thought you guys would like this. Pretty cool, all right? I mean, that was a free program that did that for me. So we're seeing a lot of rapid growth in AI since 2022. There's a huge data center boom to collect this data and try to make sense of all of it and make it useful for you. This is my personal opinion, what I would see is AI is going to be more integrated into operating systems, Windows, Mac, Linux. You're going to see it in apps, you're going to see it in browsers, and especially cybersecurity, because there's already, you guys heard about the AI escapes that happened last week? Some big warnings just happened. So there's going to be AI cybersecurity bots fighting the AI bad guy bots. It's going to be interesting. So my message is prepare. It's not going away anytime soon. And I wanted to close with a speech from one of my favorite, I call moderns philosophers. You all know Harari, who wrote *Sapiens*. And I think it captures some of the fear and excitement about AI. He says, the problem is not that machines will think like humans or that they will become conscious. The problem is that machines will make better decisions than humans, and how we deal with that, right? And that's it, guys. That concludes my speech. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.